Never seen something pass. Good morning, everyone. Here we go. Another day full of chaos. I was reading the comments in the morning. Oh my god, guys, what the hell? I need a 10-pack of keyboards. How many keyboards do I need? I don't know, maybe 20. I don't know. Hopefully, I can restore some of these keyboards. It's like just destroying them all. Anyway, how's it going, guys? It's I again, the Crypto Otaku, back for some more crypto chaos and the news. And this morning, of course, coffee. We need coffee. Oh, every morning we need coffee. I don't know how to function without coffee. Yes. Who we got in the chat this morning? We got OG Boban. How's it going? Walla walla bing bam. A guy saying in early today, ready for chaos to start. Yeah, me too. Guess who else is? Elon, and he's got some coffee too. Well.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Maybe see if I'm dead. So there's a slight amount of time.
Does that mean that the value of your pay doesn't have any bearing on your decision?
He's rich. He doesn't care. He's the richest man alive.
Really a subject of discussion in this forum. I think obviously there should be compensation for if something incredible is done, that compensation should match that something incredible was done. But I'm confident that whatever some activist posing as a judge in Delaware happens to do will not affect the future compensation.
This is the judge who twice struck down the $56 billion pay package that was awarded to you. I think the value on the current value of stock options. Yeah.
Not a judge. The activist who is cosplaying a judge in a Halloween costume.
Oh boy.
Okay, that's your characterization.
Okay.
I think the current value of stock options, I think the actual
justice according to the
cringe.
On the current value of stock options, I think the value of that pay package stands at about $100 billion. Are you saying you are relaxed about the value of your future pay package? Your decision to be committed to Tesla for the next 5 years, as long as you are still with us on this planet, is completely independent of pay?
No.
It's not independent. So pay is a relevant factor then to your commitment to Tesla?
A sufficient voting control such that I cannot be ousted by activist investors is what matters to me. And I've said this publicly many times. But let's not have this whole thing be a discussion of my alleged pay. It's not a money thing. It's a reasonable control thing over the future of the company, especially if we're building millions, potentially billions of humanoid robots. I can't be sitting there.
Here we go.
And one day get tossed out by, for political reasons, by activists. That would be unacceptable. That's all that matters. Now let's move on.
Okay, well, just one question.
Let's move on.
Well, one question before we move on to other companies, which is that I wonder if some of what has happened to Tesla in the last few months, did you take it personally?
Yes.
And did it make you regret or think twice about your political endeavors?
Don't burn my cars.
Because it is.
I did what needed to be done. The violent antibody reaction, and I'm not someone who's ever committed violence, and yet massive violence was committed against my companies. Massive violence was threatened against me. Who are these people? Why would they do that? How wrong can they be? They're on the wrong side of history, and that's an evil thing to do. To go and damage some poor innocent person's car, to threaten to kill me. What's wrong with these people? have not harmed anyone. So something needs to be done about them. And a number of them are going to prison, and they deserve it. And more will.
You're referring to the attacks on Tesla showrooms, but I think...
Yeah. Bullets into showrooms and burning down cars is unacceptable.
Yeah.
Those people will go to prison, and the people
robots
that
are coming,
funded
guys.
them and
The robots are
organized them
coming.
will also go to prison. Don't worry.
But wouldn't you...
We're coming for you.
Wouldn't you... But wouldn't you acknowledge that some of the people who turned against Tesla in Europe were upset at your politics, and very few of them would have been violent in any way. They just objected to what they saw you say or do politically.
Well, it's certainly fine to object to political things, but it's not fine to resort to violence and hanging someone in effigy and death threats. That's obviously not okay. That's absurd. That is in no way justifiable at all, in any way, shape, or form. And some of the legacy media nonetheless have sought to justify it, which is unconscionable. Shame on them.
Let's talk about your other companies then and other business areas, SpaceX. I saw that you said in a speech at the West Point Military Academy recently that the future of warfare is AI and drones. And obviously defense is an increasingly booming sector with the state of the world at the moment. Do you see SpaceX moving into weaponized drones?
You certainly ask interesting questions that are impossible to answer. SpaceX is it's the space launch leader. So SpaceX doesn't do drones. SpaceX builds rockets, satellites, and internet terminals. So SpaceX has a very dominant position in space launch. So of the mass launch to orbit this year, SpaceX will probably do 90%. China will do the half of the remaining amount, so 5%, and the rest of the world, including the rest of the US, will do about 5%. So SpaceX will do about 10 times as much as the rest of the world combined, or 20 times as much as China, and China is doing actually a very impressive job. The reason for this is that we're putting into orbit the largest satellite constellation the world has ever seen by far. So I think at this point, about maybe approaching 80% of all active satellites in orbit are SpaceX. And they're providing high bandwidth global connectivity throughout the world. In fact, this connection is on a SpaceX connection. So I think this is a very good thing because it means that we can provide low-cost, high bandwidth internet to parts of the world that don't have it or where it's very expensive. And I think the single biggest thing you can do to lift people out of poverty and help them is giving them an internet connection. Because once you have the internet connection, you can learn anything for free on the internet, and you can also sell your goods and services to the global market. Once you have knowledge by the internet and the ability to engage in commerce, that this is going to greatly improve quality of life for people throughout the world, and it has. And I'd just like to thank anyone in the audience who may have been helpful in, with Starlink and getting it.
And the market has opened
in the country, and I think it's doing a lot of good in the countries that have approved it, which is, I think, at this point, 130 countries are very happy with it. I don't currently anticipate SpaceX getting into the weapons business. It's not an aspiration. We're frequently asked to do weapons programs, but we have thus far declined.
Do you envisage SpaceX or indeed Starlink as a separate entity publicly listing in the near future or at all?
It's possible that Starlink may go public at some point in the future.
And what would be the time frame?
Starlink.
What kind of time frame are you considering?
I'm in no rush. I'm in no rush to go public. Public is, I guess, a way to potentially make more money, but at the expense of a lot of public company overhead and inevitably
ask questions about those,
which are very annoying. So really something needs to be done about the shareholder derivative lawsuits in the U.S. Because it allows plaintiffs' law firms who don't represent the shareholders to pretend that they represent the shareholders by getting a puppet plaintiff with a few shares to initiate a massive lawsuit against the company. And the irony being that, extreme irony, that even if the class they purport to represent were to vote that they don't want the lawsuit would still continue. So how can it be a class action representing a class if the class vote against it? And that's the situation we've got in the U.S. It's a dire need of reform. As anyone who's run a public company, you've experienced this. It's an absurd situation that needs to change.
Well, do you think Donald Trump might change it? You've certainly got his ear. I imagine that you've put this to him. Is this something you're trying to change before any Starlink IPO?
Well, it would need a law to be passed. But the trouble being that you need 60 Senate votes, and the Democrats will vote against it. The plaintiff's bar is, I believe, the second largest contributor to the Democratic Party. That's the issue. At the state level, this can be solved. And I should say, Texas recently passed a law which, at least at the state level, made class action reasonable, because you have to get at least 1 in 33 shareholders to agree that they are part of a class of shareholders. 3%. This will really help with frivolous lawsuits.
Let's talk about AI, which is in so many of your businesses and in all our worlds in different ways. It's one of the big changes, the development of generative AI, since you last spoke to this forum 3 years ago. You're in this space, of course, with Grok, which almost everyone will know. You co-founded OpenAI and then left, and you've obviously got a legal battle with OpenAI and Sam Altman. I wonder if you could say something about the status of that, because you were together in Saudi Arabia with the president last week with Sam Altman. In the same place at the same time.
Sam was in the neighborhood.
Okay, so does that mean you are pushing ahead with the lawsuit against OpenAI?
Yes. So look, I came up with the name OpenAI as an open source and as a non-profit, and I funded OpenAI for the first roughly $50 million, and it was intended to be a non-profit open source company, and now they're trying to change that for their own.
All right, guys, I want to interrupt this for a minute because I know we just jumped right into it because it is breaking, but I just wanted to give you guys some context. This is the Qatar Economic Forum, and Elon Musk is speaking this morning.
Lumber company funded. That's OpenAI.
They've made some changes to their corporate structure, though, haven't they, since, in recognition of what you've said? And
no, that's just what they told the media.
okay. They have partly walked back their plan to restructure the business. I guess that's made no difference to how you feel about it. So you determined to see them in court?
Of course.
Well, that's certainly going to be one to watch. I also wanted to ask you about AI and regulation, because when you were here last talking to John Micklethwaite, you had some pretty strong words about the risk that AI poses, and you said that you really felt what the US was missing was a federal AI regulator, that something along the lines of the Food and Drug Administration or the Federal Aviation Administration. Now, you're clearly now in a zone where you're more on the cutting regulation side than wanting new regulators. So has your view changed on the need for an AI regulator?
Well, it's not that I don't think there should be regulators. You can think of regulators like referees on the field in sports. There should be some number of referees, but you shouldn't have so many referees that you can't kick the ball without hitting one. In most fields in the U.S., the regulatory burden has grown over time to the point where it's like having more referees than players on the field. And this is a natural consequence of an extended period of prosperity. It's very important to appreciate this. This has happened throughout history. When you have an extended period of prosperity with no existential war, there's no cleansing function for unnecessary laws and regulations. So what happens is that every year, more laws and more regulations are passed because legislators are going to legislate, regulators are going to regulate. And you'll get the steady pile of more and more laws and regulations over time until everything is illegal. And let me give you an example of a truly absurd situation. Under the Biden administration, SpaceX was sued for not hiring asylum seekers in the US. Now, the problem is it's actually illegal for SpaceX under ITAR, International Traffic in Arms Regulations, to hire anyone who is not a permanent resident of the United States, because the premise being that they will take advanced rocket technology and return to their home country if they're not a permanent resident. So we're simultaneously in a situation where it is illegal to hire asylum seekers and is also illegal to hire asylum seekers. And the Biden's Department of Justice chose to prosecute us despite both paths being illegal. Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
But my question was specifically about a regulator for AI, which you said 3 years ago was needed, and you said we need to be proactive on the regulation of AI rather than reactive. Have you changed your mind on that?
No, of course not. No, of course not. What I'm saying is that there should be some referees on the field, a few referees, but you shouldn't have a field jam-packed with referees such that you could not kick a ball in any direction without hitting one. So the fields that have been around for a long time, such as automotive, so aerospace, the sort of food and drug industries, are over-regulated, but the new fields, like artificial intelligence, are under-regulated. In fact, there is no regulator at all.
So there should be. Do you still think that?
Yes, I'm simply saying, which I think is just basic common sense, that you want to have at least you want to have a few referees in the field. You don't want to have an army of referees, but you want to have a few referees on any given field, in any given sport, or even any given arena, industrial arena, to ensure that public safety is taken care of, but you don't want to have. So there's a proper number of referees. Like I said, it's actually very easy to visualize this when compared to sports. If the whole field is packed with referees, that would look absurd. But if there were no referees at all, your game's not going to be as good.
Okay, so let's then talk about your new world, your role advising government. You are
the utopian planets
and unprecedented
or underpopulated,
billions
guys.
of dollars worth of contracts with the federal government yourself, mostly through SpaceX, and also now an insider's knowledge of it because of Doge. Can you see that there is a conflict of interest or a potential conflict of interest in broad terms just through that very fact?
I don't think so, actually. There have been many advisors throughout history and the U.S. government and others who have had economic interests. And I am simply an advisor. I don't have formal power. And that's it. The president can choose to accept my advice or not. And that's how it goes. If there's a single contract that any of my companies have received that people think is somehow not was awarded improperly, it would immediately be front page news, to say the least. And if I didn't mention it, certainly my competitors would. So if you're not seeing that, then clearly there's not a conflict of interest.
There's another way, though, to look at it, that, for example, you have many competitors, whether it's companies like Boeing or companies who would like to do more of the kind of work you do for NASA, Blue Origin, Rocket Lab, and because Doge is in every federal government department, you or people who work for Doge, and you are the driving force behind it, have an insight into those companies' affairs and those companies' relationships with the federal government.
No, all we do is we review the organization to see if the organization has departments that are no longer relevant, and then are the contracts that are being awarded good value for money. In fact, frankly, the bar is not particularly high. Is there any value for money in a contract? And if there isn't, then we make recommendations to the secretary. The secretary can then choose to take those actions or not take those actions, and that's it. And then any action that is as a function of Doge is posted to the Doge website and to the Doge.gov or at Doge handle on the X platform. So it's complete transparency, and I've not seen any case where, to the best of my knowledge, there's even been an accusation of conflict, because it is completely and utterly transparent. That's it.
And what about the international dimension? Now, let's think about Starlink. Starlink is obviously a very, very good internet service. It's sought after all over the world. It's critical to the front line in Ukraine. It has also had more contracts coming its way, and there is some evidence that companies are allowing access to it because they want to be close to the Trump administration and send the right signal. So Bloomberg broke news today that the South African government is working around the rules on black ownership in order to allow Starlink in, and that is being done on the eve of the visit that President Ramaphosa is going to make to the White House. Do you recognize that as a conflict of interest?
No, of course not. First of all, you should be questioning why are there racist laws in South Africa? That's the first problem. That's what you should be attacking. It's improper for there to be racist laws in South Africa. The whole idea with what Nelson Mandela, who was a great man, proposed was that all races should be on an equal footing in South Africa. That's the right thing to do, not to replace one set of racist laws with another set of racist laws, which is utterly wrong and improper. So that's the deal, that all races should be treated equally, and there should be no preference given to one or the other. Whereas there are now 140 laws in South Africa that give that basically give strong preference to if you're a black South African, and not otherwise. And so now I'm in this absurd situation where I was born in South Africa but cannot get a license to operate in Starlink because I'm not black.
Well, it looks
Does
like
that
that's
seem
about.
right to
It looks
you?
looks
Does
like
that
that.
seem right to you?
Looks like that's about to change.
I just asked you a question. Please answer. Does that seem right to you?
Well, those rules were designed to bring.
Yes or no?
Those rules were designed to bring about an era of more economic equality in South Africa, and it looks like the government has found a way around those rules for you.
I asked you a question.
This is your interview. Everyone wants to hear from you.
I asked you a question. Yes or no?
Not
Racist
for me.
laws, yes or no?
Not for me to answer. I have got a question for you about your government work, though, and the
racist laws,
amount of
then.
savings.
Why do you like racist laws?
This is not for me to
Jesus.
answer. Come on.
Yes, it is.
Now, you wouldn't be trying to dodge a question.
You have to
That
ask a
is difficult
question.
for
I
you
answer
to
my
answer,
question. No, you answer
Look,
mine.
So this is the breaking news today, guys.
I'm sure you can have that conversation directly with the South African government if you want to. I want to ask you about the total.
I can't believe it. That's not good.
I want to ask you about the total
Why do you love
amount.
racist laws?
Elon's
I
still an
want to ask you
entertainer,
about
I
the total
guess.
amount that you're planning to save through Doge's work. Before the election, you said it was going to be at least $2 trillion. The number currently on Doge.gov is $170 billion. That's a big change. What happened to the $2 trillion?
Well, do you expect it to happen immediately?
Well, is it going to happen? Because Doge is supposed
Finally,
to run
they asked
until
that.
next July.
What do you expect? I mean, your question is absurd in its fundamental premise. Are you assuming that on day, within a few months, there's an instant $2 trillion saved?
No, I'm not at all. I'm just asking, is that still your aim then? Is it
Have we
still
not
your
made
aim
There we
to
go.
get to
progress
2
given the
trillion?
That's still your target.
Have we not made good progress given the amount of time?
Your wording on the last.
That's exactly what I'm asking. So is it still your aim to go from 170 billion to 2 trillion?
The ability of Doge to operate is a function of whether the government, and this includes the Congress, is willing to take our advice. We're not the dictators of the government, we are the advisors. And so we can advise, and the progress we've made thus far, I think, is incredible. The Doge team has done incredible work. But the magnitude of the savings is proportionate to the support we get from Congress and from the executive branch of the government in general. So we're not the dictators, we are the advisors. But thus far, for advisors, the Doge team, to their credit, has made incredible progress.
You've talked about $4 billion a day being saved, but that won't get, which is, and I think everyone can agree that combating waste and inefficiency in government is a very good thing. But if you add that up, it's not going to get to 2 trillion over the lifetime of Doge.
I'm sorry.
The 4 billion a day, if Doge is going to run till next July, is not going to get you to $2 trillion. But you still say it's your aim, so we'll take that as read.
Yeah, I don't know if I believe that.
There's Doge. I mean, I feel you're somewhat trapped in the NPC dialogue tree of a traditional journalist. So it's difficult when I'm conversing with someone who's trapped in the dialogue tree of a conventional journalist, because it's like talking to a computer. Doge is an advisory group. We are doing the best we can as an advisory group. The progress made thus far as an advisory group is excellent. I don't think any advisory group has done better in the history of advisory groups of the government. Now, we do not make the laws, nor do we control the judiciary, nor do we control the executive branch. We are simply advisors. In that context, we are doing very well. Beyond that, we cannot take action beyond that, because we are not some sort of imperial dictator of the government. There are 3 branches of the government that are to some degree opposed to that level of cost savings. But nonetheless, let's not criticize whether there's 4 trillion, and instead look at the fact that 160 billion has been saved, and more will be saved too.
And as I said, I think everyone can agree that cutting waste and indeed fraud in any government and being responsible with taxpayers' money is a very good thing. So
yes.
I can see that you're proud of that work. I do want to ask you about US aid and the comments that Bill Gates made the other day, and I know that you called him...
Yeah, he's a huge liar.
I know, you've said that already. I wondered...
Also,
and I'm just...
Who does Bill Gates think he is to make comments about the welfare of children, given
oh my God.
he frequented Jeffrey Epstein?
Okay, well...
Oh boy, here we go.
He said he regrets those, and
he spent
a lot of his own money on philanthropy around the world over the years. My question to you is: have you looked at the data to check if he might be right that the cuts to USAID might cost millions of lives?
Yes. I'd like him to show us any evidence whatsoever that is true. It's false. What we found with USAID cuts, and by the way, they haven't all been cut. The parts of USAID that we found to be even slightly useful were transferred to the State Department. So they've not been deleted. They've simply been transferred to the State Department. But many times over with USAID and other organizations, when they said, "Oh well, this is going to help, children, or it's going to help some disease eradication or something like that," and then when we ask for any evidence whatsoever, I say, "Well, please connect us with this group of children so we can talk to them and understand more about their issue." We get nothing. They don't even try to come up with a show orphan, meaning like it's sort of like, well, can we at least see a few kids? Like, where are they? If they're in trouble, we'd like to talk to them and talk to their caregivers.
Okay, well,
and then we get nothing as a response, because it's what we find is an enormous amount of fraud and graft.
Okay, let me put this example to you.
Very little of it actually gets to the kids, if anything at all.
Okay, let me put this example to you, because you grew up in South Africa, so you'll know the impact of HIV/AIDS well. And this is why I asked about the data. The US led on international efforts to combat HIV/AIDS treatment, prevention, and there's an initiative called PEPFAR, which is credited with saving 26 million lives in the last 20 years. It was part of the foreign aid freeze, then there was a limited waiver. Its services are disrupted, and UN aid says if permanently discontinued, there will be another 4 million AIDS-related deaths by 2029. So if you look at that example, which is backed up by data, in 2023, 630,000 people died of AIDS-related illnesses, then perhaps Bill Gates' figures are not wrong. Millions of lives could be lost.
First of all, the program, the AIDS medication program is continuing. So your fundamental premise is wrong. It is continuing. Now, do you have another example?
Elon, not in its entirety.
It is false.
Not in its entirety. There's a limited waiver, and UNAIDS have said that not all of the services that were previously funded by USAID are continuing. So that's why I put that example to you.
Okay, well, which ones aren't being funded? I'll fix it right now.
Okay, well, actually, they're all on the UNAIDS website, so you'll be able to see them. But mostly they are to do with. Mostly they are to do with prevention, and for example, the rollout of a drug called lenacapavir, which was hailed as one of the biggest breakthroughs against AIDS for many years, which came out last year. So if you are, perhaps, I'm sure UNAIDS would be delighted if you're able to look at that again.
Yes, but well, if in fact this is true, which I doubt it is, then we'll fix it.
Okay, fine. So finally, your political influence. I wondered whether you have decided yet how much you're going to spend on the upcoming midterms. Is it you spent a lot more money on the last US election than you envisaged when you were speaking here 3 years ago? Are you going to continue to spend at that kind of level on future elections?
I think in terms of political spending, I'm going to do a lot less in the future.
And why is that?
I think I've done enough.
Is it because of blowback?
Well, if I see a reason to do political spending in the future, I will do it. I do not currently see a reason.
Okay. What about political influence beyond the US? How often do you speak to President Putin?
I don't speak to President Putin.
You've never spoken to President Putin?
I was on a video call with him once about 5 years ago.
Okay. That's the only.
Why would you think I speak to President Putin?
That's nothing I've heard of either.
Actually, I've heard you speak about it. For example, in your West Point speech, you said, "Oh, I challenged President Putin to was it an arm wrestle?" And I know the Wall Street Journal has reported your reported conversations.
Oh, yes.
If you're saying they haven't happened other than once, I'll take that as read.
And the battle with Zuckerberg too. Come on.
In the Wall Street Journal, I wouldn't use that to line up my cage for parrot droppings. That newspaper is the worst newspaper in the world, if there's one newspaper that should be pro-capitalist, it's the one with Wall Street in the name, but it isn't. So I have the very lowest opinion of the Wall Street Journal. Absolute nonsense. And you clearly believe the tripe that you've read in those papers.
I read very widely, and I'm putting these questions to you so that you have an opportunity to respond to them, which you are, and for which we're all grateful to hear your responses. Yes. Okay, we are out of time. So
you mentioned me challenging. I did so on the X platform. I challenged Vladimir Putin to single combat over the. But I didn't talk to him. That was a post on the X platform.
Great. That's why I asked you, and you've clarified and explained. Thank you. That's why I was asking whether you have had reported conversations, and you said you haven't other than a video call. Okay.
Typical legacy media lies.
Okay. Listen, I actually thought I might give Grok the last word because when I asked Grok what your hardest challenge is, it said the strain of managing multiple high-stake ventures amid financial, regulatory, and public relations crises. And I wondered whether you recognize that characterization and whether you do think that this is a pivotal year in your life.
Well, every year has been somewhat pivotal and this one's no different. So, I mean, in terms of interesting things that hopefully are accomplished this year, getting Starship to be fully reusable, so that we catch both the booster and the ship, which will be the first fully reusable orbital rocket ever in history, would be a profound breakthrough, as the essential breakthrough necessarily to make life multiplanetary and ultimately become a spacefaring civilization. We've got Neuralink, which has now helped 5 patients restore capability using the telepathy implant, where they're able to control a computer simply by thinking. We'll be doing our first patient to restore sight with our blind sight implant, which is either end of this year or early next. In fact, that first patient might be in UAE, since we have a relationship with UAE and the Cleveland Clinic there. I think on the AI front, we are close to what you might call AGI, or digital superintelligence. I think we are seeing an explosion in digital superintelligence here. And then we've got at Tesla we'll be launching unsupervised autonomy, basically self-driving cars with no one in them, in Austin next month. So it's a big year for sure. Many other things in the works too.
Okay.
I'm a technologist first and foremost.
Elon Musk, thank you very much for joining us here at Qatar Economic Forum. Thank you.
That was Elon Musk with Bloomberg Weekend's editor-at-large, Ms. Shaw.
All right, guys. All right, it's done. Oh, dang it! I can get back my my mic, my headphone. My headset died in the middle of all that. Come on. Nothing wants to work here in the studio these days. There we go. Oh, nice. I got 30% now. Cool. Got the rest of the live worth on battery life. How's it going, guys? I didn't get the chance to catch up with the chat. We got so much crazy news right out the gate. Of course, going live with Tesla's Elon Musk. And I have a love-hate relationship with that man. Oh my God. Oh, it's crazy. But anyway, yeah, of course, talking about AI and all the things. Robotics, Tesla's involvement, Doge, the world, dystopian future. Yes, it's all coming, guys. It's of course why I give every second to let the man speak, because he does let things slip from time to time, as we just heard over the weekend, and when he was over in Qatar. I think it was Qatar. When he slipped the universal high income. that's funny. That's funny. You mean UBI, yeah. Universal basic income. When the robots take over all our jobs. Yeah, so let's get back in the chat and say hello to everyone, as I normally love to do. Yes, Milk Money, good morning. It's Otaku Thursday. Tuesday. Oh my God, I'm losing it, guys. No job no more. I'm completely off my circadian rhythm. Herb the Free? What the hell is that, OG Boban? In early today, ready for chaos to start, says A Guy Obey. OG Boban says Walla Walla Bing Bang. That's right. He needs a pack of 10 keyboards. That's right. I need to go to Costco and buy a 10-pack of keyboards, so I stopped spilling my coffee. I'm keeping my coffee at a distance today. You know if you guys noticed. So I'm trying to eliminate it. This is a new studio for me, so I'm just trying to get rid of, use the feel. I tend to flail a lot. I'm very clumsy. Anyway, so yes, I definitely need that 10-pack of keyboards from Costco. Welcome to Costco. We love you. Don't forget. Yeah, they predicted that, man. They predicted that over at what was that movie? Idiocracy. If you guys haven't seen that, it's an oldie but a goodie. Predicting the dystopian future we live in today. There is no second best. That's right. Milk Money. You're 100% right. There is no second best.
Which one's the best crypto asset? Well, Bitcoin's the best crypto asset. Okay. What's the second best? There is no second best.
Oh, are you referring to me? There's a second best? Probably Bitcoin, right? Yeah, Bitcoin, of course. Spilling the chaos all over the keyboards. That is what we do. Yesterday was insane. I don't know if you guys saw it, but I was also pouring water on my lap to balance out the coffee, so it didn't stain my favorite hoodie or make a mess of my chair. But I kept the show going. That's what I do, man. I am organized chaos for sure. Regulators mount up. OG Bobam, of course, referring to the AI at the moment. When I was reading you guys' comments in the middle of all that, of course. Referring to the AI. We need regulation because we're gonna see Terminator-like stuff if we do not have regulation. Good morning, Otaku-san, and Weirdo Family. How's it going, Weirdo Fam? How's it going? Financial freedom is here, guys. All you gotta do is just own a little bit of this little orange coin. That's it, just a little bit. I recommend at least 10% of a Bitcoin for these trying times ahead. Good morning, Otaku. Good morning. Good morning. Quinton's in the house. How's it going, Quint? How's it going, Quint? It's been a minute since I talked to the Chad Daddy himself, Quint. For those who know. Good morning, everyone. Ramona in the chat as well. How's it going, Ramona? Thank you for doing everything you do. I appreciate all your help, love, and support. I did actually finally start to get a little tiny bit of progress into monetization. I know you've been definitely helping me in my struggle to get that going on YouTube. And I just wanted to give you guys an update. We are getting so close to 600 subs. With that being said, I've been putting in all of the paperwork to get it done, but they keep like pushing it back, and then I have to like refill this out with this one little detail. It's a mess, but we're getting there, guys. We're getting there. Good morning. Yes, Mr. O, Bitcoin go up. Mr. O, Orange Man or the Orange Coin? Yes, maybe. Good morning, Ree in the house too. How's it going? RHI Ree, how's it going? It looks like we're waiting for Bloomberg to resume session right now. I'm not sure what is going on here.
$1 million to the family of the rioter killed in the January 6th storming of the U.S. Capitol.
Oh boy. So yeah, they're talking about the riots from 2000. Man, what was that? When was that? January 6th, 2017. 2021. That was a long time ago. 2020. Man, times are. It's all blending, man. It's all blending together. All right, so where does that take us into now? Well, I wanted to go over a few things this morning. Let's pull this stuff up. Of course, talking about the Dixie rolling over a little bit this morning. Can it keep going down? Can it keep going down? U.S. The funny thing is, the U.S. just lost its credit rating, and it's just like normal day in the world. It's okay. Okay, everything's fine. Everything's fine. So that's weird. That's weird. We also could look at the while we're waiting for Bloomberg to pop up, hopefully with something breaking. CNBC checking to see if there's anything breaking here. Of course, everyone's talking about Elon stuff we just spoke about. Right before the live stream, Trump was on just briefly talking about the big beautiful bill and the progress being made there, but nothing really new out of that. They did cite some changes or something they wanted, both sides wanted or something like that. Let's see what else we got here. That's CNBC. Let's check Fox Business for anything breaking. Not really. Rubio backs Trump's foreign policy budget. Home Depot won't raise prices due to tariffs. That's pretty ballsy of them. Since we've been getting this tariff war on a lot of the retailers. The big one specifically is Walmart. Trump tells Walmart he's watching if they blame tariffs for the price increases, which again they're passing that on to their customers. I heard Walmart's acting president speak about that yesterday. Trump's bags record $96 billion Boeing jet deal. Investors here Mideast win. Before we go any further, I do want to mention. Let's go back to that breaking stuff we just watched. Right, I didn't unpack what we just watched. So a big takeaway from what we just watched over on the Economic Forum in Qatar was they were pushing Elon. Did I close all of it already? Dang it! I'll just open it all back up. It's fine. So I pulled up the Doge tracker, and one of the big thing was big questions I wanted them to ask, of course, was Doge's progress since he's only going to be in the White House now 2 days, 1 to 2 days out of the week. The Doge tracker. Oh my God! Really? This keyboard's got issues, guys. I'm using an old one. I'll have my new one back soon. Let's get back here. Okay, so estimated right now it's sitting at about 170 billion in savings. And one of the things that she cited was, and I think I still have my calculator up. You guys can see it. I did it on the live. You guys saw it. One of the things she cited was at 4 billion, and you only have until July of next year, which is still a year and two months from where we are right now. That's only she said that's not enough, and no one did the math while he was on stage, or she was on stage, or whatever. But I mean, that's still pretty good in my opinion. I'm not a huge Elon Musk fan, but to give him some credit with Doge, $1.4 trillion, if we really are saving an estimated $4 billion a day, is nothing to shake at. That's a pretty good, and again, that's only 365 days, not including the 2 additional months that could still push this out. Let's see, I don't want to lose that number. I'm just going to open another calculator. These big numbers, guys, they hurt my brain. I can do moon math, though. Pretty good at moon math. But, yeah, let's see, what's another 60 days, right? So another 6 days plus, times 4 billion would give us to another 200. Yeah, I mean, that's getting really close. So add that into the 1.46 trillion. Oh, God, these zeros, guys. Oh, God, the zeros. Am I even there yet? There we go. Is that trillion? 100,000, million, billion. There we go. Trillion is, yeah, just under 1.7 trillion, just under that $2 trillion mark. I think it's fair. I think if they really keep it up, 1.7 trillion is close enough, in my opinion. It's fine. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, when we're borrowing, what is it, 70 to 100,000 every single day. I mean, every single minute. I'm sorry, second. Every single second, they're printing $70,000 to $100,000 every single second. Yeah, it's still a drop in the bucket, but it's better than nothing. We can at least pay the next 2 years in interest, which was saved. We can keep up the interest for a year and a half. It's sad. It's sad world we live in. But anyway, I just wanted to share some of the numbers with that because I thought it was crazy when they were calling him out on stage. But neither Elon or her could do that on the fly. And I mean, that's fair. These are huge numbers. God. All right. So what are they talking about right now on Bloomberg? Let's see. Real quick. Dive in there. Okay.
Of 0.7%. Elon Musk, you heard him right here on Bloomberg Radio, says he's committed to leading Tesla as CEO in 5 years' time. It kind of eases the concerns that some investors worry about his level of commitment to Tesla. Shares of Tesla right now in the early going, they are up about 0.5%. And you know what? Being an AI startup, no guarantee of success. Builder AI, this is the artificial intelligence startup backed by Microsoft and the Qatar Investment Authority, will go into insolvency proceedings in the UK. We check the markets for you all day long, right?
Oh, this is such a special, guys. I also wanted to talk about Apple's involvement with AI has been so lackluster. It's like we just heard Tesla and we just heard a mention to Microsoft and their AI, one of their AI projects. Everyone's behind. Everyone's so far behind. China as well. I got some stuff to show you in the real news segment over on X. But my God, we're so far behind on everything here in the States. Anyway, so let me get back in the chat. Let's check back up with you guys and see if anything else is happening in our space this morning. They're still talking about Home Depot right now. Yes. Yes. Strawberry Dragons, welcome. Strawberry, how's that going? Good morning. Super late. Super duper late. It's almost. Oh wow, we're almost done with the stream. It's almost 10:10. Look at that. Good morning, Otaku Jake the Snake. Good morning. I'm gonna stay around a little later though, just because Elon Musk took over half my damn live stream, more than half. Yeah. So interesting. You got again. I gotta make space for all the breaking stuff as soon as it happens while we're live. All right, so yeah, they're still probably talking about Home Depot.
So you'd think that would help them. They wouldn't be all in on one country, that if that country gets hit with a really big tariff, then they won't be able to pivot as quickly.
I'm actually shocked that 50% comes from the U.S. This hasn't been my experience with Home Depot products.
Oh, really? What are you buying at Home Depot?
You don't buy stuff at Home Depot. You buy at the lumber yard.
Well, I buy lumber at the lumber yard. That seems to be sourced from Canada to the U.S. But when you buy
All right, so we're still talking about Home Depot. Okay, so Overcome also here to overcome this price action. We didn't even get the Bitcoin today. For 104.5 on Bitcoin this morning. I wanted to recap from last night when I called this being controlled by the Crypto Chaos magic. Again, guys, I'm just an instrument. I'm just an instrument of chaos. And of course, I was calling for more of a baseline or bullish case scenario. Yeah, scribbling in somewhere in the middle here for you guys last night. That was my idea, my target. And of course, I'm tired of winning, guys. I'm so freaking tired of winning. We landed right on top of it.
You may even get tired of winning. You say, please, too much winning. Can't take it anymore.
Too much winning, too much winning. So guys, if you're not participating with us on the evening live streams when the forward market opens, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're missing the crazy Crypto Chaos magic predictions. And yeah, so I just wanted to shout out to that. I'm going to leave it up and recap again for the evening live stream. But yeah, I mean, again, right on target. I'm tired of winning, guys. I want to be so wrong one day, just be so freaking wrong where we're like $10,000 up or below. I don't care if we fall down 10,000. Give the super bears what they want. Take them back to the fire sale. I don't care. I just want to be wrong, damn it. All right. I'm sick of being right. All right. Let's get back into it. So the idea for Bitcoin right now is, again, we just had this huge pump action over into the foreign markets open. So I think we're going to take it kind of slow. We're going to probably trade sideways and then consolidate just a little bit higher. See if we can retest to 107 by intraday trading around 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. And if we can't get above that before the close, then of course we're going to see some pump action again in the foreign markets. So don't be surprised this week if you wake up one day and we're just sitting at above a new all-time high. One of these days is going to happen. We are so undervalued for Bitcoin right now. It's ridiculous. And as you saw, I drew this last night. This was our ramp. This was just, I drew this a week ago to give you guys some sort of timeline, I guess, for when we could be seeing a Bitcoin breakout to the upside, potentially hitting $110, $120, $130,000. Where do we get this? We get it from the length of the pull because we're stuck in this ginormous cup and handle on the 4-hour, the daily, the weekly. You can see it pretty much all if you just zoom out. Take a break. Just zoom out, and of course you get that from the bottom of the channel to the top. And you get somewhere right around that target right there. So give or take about 110 to 130,000. That's kind of where the next breakout is going to take us. It really depends on how much is being positioned in to sell off in those key levels. And right now, there's nothing really above 110K. There's some play. We can go dive into that real quick right now. Let me get back to the live heat map brought to you by Kimba, the White Snowland on YouTube. Don't pay for the heat map when you get it for free. That's right. Don't pay for it. Yeah, save your money and buy some more crypto per month. But yeah, right now it looks like, oh man, that looks blurry is what it looks like. Okay, it loaded up. Okay, it buffered. Okay, so we're sitting right now at 104.5. And yeah, we've destroyed all of the sell orders that were in this level. So now that we've opened up this channel, we're going to create a new one, a new range between 103. Yes, 103 still taunts my dreams. Yes, 103 is still going to be that's our new bottom though, right? Okay, it's our new bottom. It's been our bottom for like a week, but anyway, so 103 and 106, 107. It's kind of where we're range bound right now. There's a little bit of a sell wall at 107, 106.5, somewhere in that range, and then we get into some bigger numbers. So 114, 113. That's going to be some weird point of sell wall there. So it's going to be the next big level we have to look out for once we smash on through this, resistance at 106, 107. That's so yeah, there's really nothing sitting at 110 right now. So yeah, that's what we're looking at, and we're so close, guys. This is nothing for Bitcoin. A $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 pump on a day is nothing. So any day now, we could be, of course, retesting new all-time highs at 109.5. I think was the highest we ever seen Bitcoin go. All right, so keep that in mind for this week. We're just getting started. We're just getting started. And the reason why I have this drawn out as far as I have is because generally it only takes 2 weeks of consolidation, sometimes 3, to see a massive breakout from a cup and handle going sideways. With all this positive sentiment, positive momentum, it's going to happen. There's nothing holding it back. Nothing. Every day I'm talking about a new company getting in, new country getting in, a new allocation for existing companies, larger, not smaller. I mean, it's crazy. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. I talk about how MicroStrategy is buying literally all the Bitcoin that's being mined this year, and they're almost there. They bought 122,000 out of 100. The total max being mined this year at about 166. It's only a matter of time. Only a matter of time. All right, so let's see what else is happening right now. Let's take a look at crypto bubbles before we go to. It is getting late, so we got about 15 minutes left, and then I got to start working on some of the move. I still haven't unboxed everything, guys. It's ridiculous. And I've got soundproof stuff coming this week. I'm hoping to get that before the weekend. I really got to get that started because I got to start moving all this stuff around and moving it into other rooms, and I got to get prepared for that because it's gonna my life's gonna be upside down. But anyway, crypto bubbles, man. Crypto bubbles right now looking green, consolidating on the day. Amazing that we're waking up this morning and seeing green again finally. As it's been pretty red and pretty orange, kind of sideways action for a lot of our favorite altcoins here recently. So let's see. Everything looks like it's up about 0.5% to 1%. Some of them up higher than others, like Aave. It's been a while since we've seen Aave move. 16% up on the day. CRV 8.5. Those are of course the big gainers are right now for the moment. Top 200. Let's see anything happening here. Kita's still running. Look at this. Kita's still running at 23% on the day. Launch coin. I haven't even heard of that thing. What is that? That just broke into the top 200. Launch coin on Believe. What in the world is that? I don't know. It's too many projects, guys. Too many coins. You can't hold them all. This is not Pokemon. You can't catch them all. I mean, unless you're Elon Musk and you just wanted to blow your entire load on crypto, you can't own them all. Turbo's up 5%. I know a lot of you guys hold Turbo and like Turbo as your favorite meme coin right now. It's Satoshi. Toshi's also a popular one right now too. What's the top 300 looking like? Mask. Wow. We all wear masks. Figuratively speaking. That's one of my favorite quotes from The Mask, right? Have you guys ever seen Jim Carrey's Mask? ZBCN up 7% on the day. Look at that. Look at that. Also getting some action into ZBCN. Zbeck. WeMix up 7%. Cow narrows down 10%. How many dog coins do we need? Damn it. Okay. All right. Let's see what else we got going on in some of my favorites. Where would I be DCing right now? Just to give you my opinion. What the world? What happened to my favorites? What? What happened to my favorites? Oh my god, guys. I don't know if that's my VPN preventing me from seeing my favorites. That sucks. I'll have to figure that out after the live because, yeah, that sucks. Well, let's look at the top 100. I'll give you an idea. On the month, everything's still looking green. There's hardly anything in the top 100 that is in the red still. Hell yeah, my 3 month's not even here. Yeah, what is going on with this? Where's the 3 month? 3 month there. We can look at the 3 month. Anything still down significantly on the top 100. I would advise people to DCA into. Opportunities still being in the red. Jasmy. Boom. In your face. Jasmy's still down 13% on the month. Out of all these coins, it's one of my favorite plays with a huge potential for max ROI. Polygon's still beaten to death too. I did love Polygon. I just sold my bag back in January, February, but I still love the project. And people still use it every day via Polymarket. People keep forgetting Polymarket. That's also still down 66% on the year. Insane for Polymarket. That'd be a huge rebound for Polymarket if it's still in the top 100 too. Not like it faded out. It's still being used. Doge is down 12%. Still up 32% on the year. I mean, I think Doge is going to pop up when these ETFs get launched. They're going to happen. Not holding anything right now, but I have made a lot of money in the past just buying in and out of Doge. I do like Doge, but I don't recommend it long term. Ondo, 20% down still. Huge project, huge RWA, if not the largest RWA play in my opinion. Still down significantly on the week. Did I just click on Ondo? Only on the week, 7% on the week. Underappreciated. I think it's not even $1 still. I think we've seen this thing go up to what, $2 already? Yeah, $2. There's optimism. There's a whole bunch of products in here that are good. It's just I can't see anything that's still down that I'd recommend for a lot of upside. So that's the XRP still down 6% on the week. You guys are still buying into XRP. Its high was what, $3.30. Is that around the time I sold it? I sold it right around $3 somewhere in that thing between January and February. Let's see. Yeah, that's all I got for you right now, guys, on DCA opportunities. Let me get back to the chat real quick, see how you guys are feeling, and then we're going to call it for the morning live. Double check this, make sure nothing else breaking. I need some more news, man. Orange Man didn't really come out and say anything great this morning, but let's see. Jake the Snake, yes. Good morning, Overcome, yes. Stay on target, stay on target. Yes, Jake the Snake, with, of course, that legendary Star Wars quote. Where do you where do you look to see the sell wall? Oh yeah, I mean, so what I'm looking at there, that is the live heat map, right, for Bitcoin. Yeah, so if you wanted to look for there's a lot of places you can look for the sell wall for Bitcoin. That's just my favorite way to do it. My favorite method is, of course, looking at live Bookmap. I don't personally pay for Bookmap, but I think it's a great representation, and you can see it very clearly. And yeah, I mean, we get amazing price predictions out of this just because of market sentiment and the the live price action. And you can clearly see the sell walls are at least the really strong areas of green where everything could be hit. So just a quick breakdown for RE, just so you understand how we're getting that. I am using Kimba as a tool over on YouTube for free. But maybe in the future, once we're monetized and I actually do start to make some sort of money doing YouTube, I might just, purchase heat map myself. I know, what's his name? I've been watching him for years. What's his name? Sammy, damn it. Crypto Lifer uses it on the show every single day. So, yeah, it's definitely a great tool. What else we got here? Do you like Crow? Do not. John 316. No, I do not like Crow. It's a great project for price action. It has a lot of potential for the exchange. The method that people are using it. In Crypto.com also now taking in, also taking stocks, right? So you can trade stocks on Crypto.com now, I believe, as well. I just don't invest into crypto exchange tokens. I don't want to ever be that reliant on whether exchange succeeds or fails. So that's just my opinion on it. I don't like really centralized plays, especially when you can manipulate their own token in that fashion. So that's my take on that, John. That's why I don't like Crow, particularly myself. Gas Pass is pumping. Gas Pass? What in the hell is that? Really, like passing gas? Like, what the hell? A group of people bought some last night and is killing it, says Devon Getman in the chat. Gas Pass. What? I've never even heard of this damn thing. Which is not surprising because now there's over like 6 million tokens if you count all the stuff sitting around pump.fun. Pumping gas. Jesus, what the hell? Crypto, a coin market cap. So I'm trying to get to with my jank keyboard. Here we go. Let's look at this Gas Pass thing. If I can find the right one. Gas Pass. That's how you spelt it. Gas Pass. So on Solana, it is a pump.fun token. Speaking of which, it's a pump.fun token. Oh, geez. Yeah. So. I don't even know if I want to look at that, to be honest, but yeah, I'll do it for you. I don't even know which one it is. That's the thing. Toot Chain, First Smart. There's too many gas passes passing around right now on pump.fun. How do I know it's on pump.fun? Because of the little pill right there. That's how I know. Oh, jeez. Okay, so yeah, it is exploding right now. I guess this just launched like an hour ago. Are you just shilling this? It sounds like you're just shilling this. Anyway, dude, I wouldn't invest in this, guys. Just not financial advice, but kind of financial advice. I don't know. I'm not a financial advisor. Okay, so awesome. Yes, thanks. Of course, Ree. Of course. It's from market makers of Pepe. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff, guys. All right, so I'm going to call it, guys. It is about 10:30. I got some work to get done today. But right before we go, let's see if we can find anything breaking. We're still talking about all the Elon stuff. Let's see, Fox Business. Anything breaking here? No, it looks like it's still the same stuff. Trump economists predict 2 major moves will ignite economic golden age. Just making sure we didn't miss anything. Morgan Stanley says downgrade to dip. Presents buying opportunity. Everyone's going to be buying the dip. Commission urges the government take action to protect states' industry from pests. Moody's downgrade the U.S. What does it mean? Evidently nothing for the stock market. Right before we go, let's double check one of my favorite news sites for crypto. CryptoNewsland.com. Anything breaking? USDC issuer Circle considers sale. Coinbase and Ripple emerge as key contenders. Yes, they've been looking at purchasing USDC. Genius Act wins Senate support. If you guys didn't hear last night, that happened while we were live. What was it? Andy, our boy Andy, called that out while we were live last night. Yeah, BlackRock and Fidelity just bought another 494 million worth of Bitcoin. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. That's all that's really breaking right now, guys. Nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. And Bitcoin's still sitting at 104. 104.8. Getting back up to 105 here. Maybe in the intraday trading session. All right. So I will see you guys later. Please like, subscribe, do all the things down below. I always forget to shill the channel. How are we going to grow if I don't shill the channel? I know, it's crazy. But please like, subscribe, do all the things down below. We're getting closer and closer to that 1,000 subscriber goal. And yeah, we're hoping to get monetized here soon. So I will catch you guys tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, with the market open for the foreign markets. It's going to be fun. Bringing you chaos in the morning open and the foreign market open. There goes my altar. God. This is chaos, guys. I will see you guys later. Peace. Jesus.
Fly me to the moon. Let me trade among the stars. Let me see what freedom's like without money and gold bars. In other words, hold my king. Oh! In other words, let's make history. Oh! Tomorrow is more fun than any huddle forevermore and more and more and more and more. I long for all we're talking about. In other words, I choose you. In other words, I love you.
Oh my god, guys, what a mess. What a mess. Look at all the burn marks on my altar now. It's crazy. We've burned in so much money in the past year. It's crazy. Alright, guys. Well, have a good night, guys. I need to shill harder, says Jake the Snake. I need to shill harder. That's right. I need to. But yeah, thanks, A-Guy. Thank you, yeah, for being you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Really enjoy spending the mornings and evenings with you. I appreciate that, A-Guy. I do too, man. This is why I do this, guys. I do this because I don't have any normie friends that like crypto. They wouldn't be normie friends if I had they had crypto. They'd be crypto friends. I have no crypto friends. It's insane, guys. I will catch you guys tonight, though. So stay safe. Don't forget to take your orange pills. They're amazing. They're awesome. And they're just full of financial freedom. And we're almost there. We're almost there, guys. Have a good one. I will see you later. Peace.